Hello again, YouTube. This is Dr. Kendo, and I'm here with Scribblenauts Unlimited. This is the object editor commentaries where I create your favorite characters from movies, gaming, TV shows, that kind of stuff, here in Scribblenauts Unlimited, the object editor. So this is one feature of the game where you can just create characters and things like that, and so I just create whatever is most popular and most requested each week by the most amount of different viewers. We started off with a mecha as the source object, and hopefully you see the panel of buttons there on the left side. In the top right, there's this one that has a dotted line thing around it with Maxwell's head and some fruit and stuff in there in the icon. I click on that to see the green grids right there, and so you can notice that there's all these grids around where the head was, the legs, the arms, all the kind of moving parts of the character of the mecha right here. You're gonna need to know that button just for anything in the object editor usually, but yes, we did remove the head and the limbs and all that stuff. We're gonna be creating Sardonyx from Steven Universe, a cool character. We started off with an ostrich egg as the two shoulder pieces right there, and an oval kind of for the main chest piece. And I'm going to type in a tube, and the tube is going to be sort of for that middle connector of basically the oval there on the chest, and then down kind of towards the hips and the waist is going to be another ostrich egg. And so the tube was white and just a connector piece within that behind both of those shapes. An iguanodon right now, we're going to take the bicep, and just like our Alexandrite creation last week, there are actually some similarities. We did start off with a mecha as the source object for that as well, but we use the iguanodon kind of bicep piece in the back, of course the front legs, but the one in the back behind, and so taking that bicep is going to be for her thighs as well for Sardonyx. And dagger tooth is what we can type in here, and take that very middle kind of body piece of the dagger tooth fish right there, and that'll be sort of for the main parts of the arms. We've got one that's this like reddish pink color right here, but then I'm going to take another one to be the white, and we're gonna of course add that on the other side as well, but we're gonna do sticky hand for the hand for this arm. I mean Sardonyx has two sets of arms or whatever on both sides, and so for that we're actually gonna do a different hand for the other set of arms. And my reasoning for that is actually that the sticky hand right here has the four fingers, but we can actually add in the white finger. You know how there's like one of the fingers has the white on it there for those kind of top arms, and then the set of arms that's sort of down a little bit lower and in the middle, those ones are just, it's an all white hand, and so we just typed in hand for that hand, and so it's all looking good. So now if you go over to your left side panel of buttons and things like that, there's one button for the 29-page library of shapes. We're going to grab this arm shape from the 27th page, and that's going to be for a finger here on this other, the top set of arms and hands and stuff. And so that finger, again, being on the 27th page, it was kind of near the top right, but the second row down. And so then I'm going to go ahead and type in Tots. It's Maxwell, one of his siblings, but the little baby of the group, and we'll take his back leg to be sort of the bottom parts of the legs for Sardonyx here. And I took a cobia and just grabbed that fin there sort of in the middle front of it, and that's going to be for the second part of the feet, I guess. They normally have a little diamond shape connecting them, but Stamp Space, you know, we're really going to be hurting for it here. So anyway, we're at the properties editor where you can do scripting and health and all sorts of kind of behind the scenes stuff for your character. And so during this part of this series that I do on YouTube, I like to read background information and fun facts about whatever we're creating. So here we go. Sardonyx is the fusion of garnet and pearl in the context of Steven Universe, but in gemology, it's a type of microcrystalline quartz, specifically onyx. Sardonyx? Onyx? Yes. I know that Sardonyx is an alternate birthstone for the month of August, since normally Peridot is the August gem, but I have never really liked the color of Peridot, so I'd be happy to adopt Sardonyx since my birthday is in August. But okay, we'll be getting back on track here. Fans of Steven Universe and Platinum Games have oft made similarities evident in both Sardonyx and Bayonetta, with both of the characters posing dramatically in front of the moon before performing an attack, both give an air of classiness, both taunt before finishing off their targets, and a few other things. It would, really just seem that these are coincidences, of course, but still interesting to note. I really like Sardonyx, who could be my favorite fusion in Steven Universe with her kind of mid-20th century magician or show hostess outfit. She even kind of has that disappearing magician smoke bomb thing when she defuses. But I think you guys probably saw on screen we did run out of stamp space right there with the addition of this last finger for the other sides, the top arms or whatever, but on the other side here, it's to our right, Sardonyx's left. And so with that, we still have a lot of details that we need to do, so we're going to need to create this object overall in multiple pieces. So again, Scribblenauts Unlimited, it does have a stamp limit, meaning that, like those little hands, the sticky hands, the biceps from the iguanodon, Tots' legs, all of those things are stamps. And so you only have a limited amount of pieces that you can use on each object overall, so we're creating the head and the body separately and a few other details. So we started off with the head as the source object and put down the body of a mola right here to be kind of that main piece of hair or just whatever back there behind Sardonyx's head. And anyway, I should say, actually, it probably doesn't need to be said necessarily, but I think I usually mention that we will break off from Steven Universe Creations next week, because whenever this Scribblenauts series has 2 or more episodes back to back of the same franchise, I always think of the fans of other genres and shows and games and things, and so I end up creating something else just to break up the monotony. So we'll do that next week, do not worry, but we use the back fin of a dolphin kind of in the middle. You do actually have to grab beneath the dolphin's belly, and you can't really even see the fin down there, but just touch your stylus if you're on the Wii U gamepad, or if you're on computer, just click right below the belly in the middle, kind of below the fin that you can see, and you should grab that back dolphin fin. That's the main part of the head or face for Sardonyx here. We use Tooth Fairy wings as that visor there for over her eyes, and then an amber is going to be for the gemstone there on her forehead. A dunce cap we're going to put down as the nose, and so I'm just kind of shrinking that to be, it certainly is a pointy nose, but it's not just humongous, I guess. And so then I'll go ahead and type in a mango, and we're going to take that to be the mouth right here. It's going to be like her mouth is open and slightly smiling, but with a curve in it. And so then I'll go ahead and type in nursery fish and grab the little tiny fin that it has here in the front, and that fin is actually going to be for the smaller eyes. Sardonyx has actually 4 eyes total, and so with that, the nursery fish can be the small opening right there. And then we'll take a triceratops, just grab the shin or upper leg piece of the triceratops from the front, and that'll be for the bottom pair of eyes right here. And so I'm just adjusting some things before I add the other one, so we'll copy that now. Everything is kind of looking in order, so that looks pretty good. Of course, it all doesn't really come together until we have all the pieces, so right now it's still kind of a work in progress, but shaping up a little bit. So we'll take a dot to be the eye right here in these bottom sets of eyes. It'll be for the kind of main parts of the eyes, and then a pimple is actually going to be for the top one. So typed in pimple, and we'll double that up for both of the eyes on both sides, of course. And so then on the 22nd page of the 29-page library, second row from the bottom, kind of in the middle, is this arm piece that we're going to be using for the upper and lower pieces of the lip right there, above and below the mouth. So that's looking good. I like that. And now I'm going to type in a tiger shark, and we'll grab the back fin of the tiger shark here. Of course, by back fin, I don't mean the tail fin. I mean the one that is behind, but it's those front 2 fins, just the one that's in the back. That's why I say back fin. And so that'll be for the tongue. The cobia fin, that same one that we use for her feet, is going to be here for some teeth in the mouth, and we're going to end that off with tofu and paint those both white, kind of put them side by side here and shrink or increase their size to be about the same height and width and everything like that, so you can kind of have the teeth right here with a little line or break in the middle of them. And for the neck, we'll go with the 10th page of the 29-page library of shapes. There is a mutant arm right there, and we'll put that down for the neck. And I'm actually going to grab that nursery fish, the fin, once again, and make that sort of be for the nostril hole right here on the nose. So it's all coming together pretty nicely. We can go into the scripting now, and you do want to do this for any time that you create a head and a body separately in Scribblenauts Unlimited. To connect the 2 pieces, make sure that your head object in the properties for the equipment tab, you want to check off this circle that says can be worn on the face like glasses. So that'll sort of put it in the right spot for you. Whenever you put the head object in the hands of the body object, it will go straight to the head. And so the Sardonyx chest pieces are right here. We used a blob fish to kind of be these like dark purpley gray side pieces next to the dunce cap, which is that white triangle right there. Again, it was a dunce cap like we used before. And so a cuttlefish is what we can type in now, and you can see that that top antenna or tendril piece, that top one right there closest to the head, it was for the middle of the bow tie right there. And I took away the paint to see some of the other pieces of this chest piece, but we started off with glue as the source object so that we could just glue this onto the chest of our character. So here, if you put it onto the Sardonyx model, it should be pretty pretty well intact, to be in the right position. Since it's glue, it can just glue onto the chest. I advise putting that on before any of the other pieces, like the head or those coattails. I'll show you how to make the coattails right there for the back of Sardonyx's coat. But the mola body piece was for both sides of the bow tie and a star in the middle of that. Of course, the star from space, if that wasn't obvious. And so we'll remove those other two pieces, the head and the coattails, and I will show you kind of what we did for creating the coattails, but also we may need to move the head a little bit on the body, just kind of move where its position is. But I started off with a dot as the source object, and then just like you did with the head where it was scripted to be worn on the face like glasses, you want these coattails right here to be worn on the back like a backpack. And so that's why it actually looks kind of horizontal to us right now, but I took a tuna, the fin of a tuna, I guess, and that's kind of for the blackish purpley coattail piece. And then right underneath that, it's like we see the outer part of the coattails and the inner part, which is like kind of pinkish or salmon colored. And so that was a black mamba, the tail piece of that for the other coattail piece. And so you can see it's away from the dot. We want it to be kind of to our left side. That'll make it actually go down, kind of down low. We want it to be by Sardonyx's hips, basically, and by the waist. So when you put that on, and if it's scripted to be worn on the back like a backpack, then it should go in the right spot. Now, I thought her headpiece would need some adjustment, but it actually looks okay now that everything is sort of where I want it to be and adjusted how I think I want it. And so I've been just incredibly busy. There's been so much going on, but I hope to kind of give back a little bit more time to the channel. And I've still been keeping up with the Scribblenauts, of course, but I also added in the Pokemon Go commentaries. So I really would like you guys to check those out if you haven't seen them yet. If you think like, oh, I'm not going to like it because it's not Scribblenauts, then I feel really bad, and I hope that's not the case. I'll leave an annotation to the second Pokemon Go commentary ever that I have put on the channel, and of course an annotation to the previous Scribblenauts Unlimited video. Make sure to follow Dr. Kendo Commentaries on Facebook, on Twitter with dr_Kendo, and now on Instagram, dr.kendo, and dkcgaming.com, twitch.tv/drkendo. Search Dr. Kendo on anything and everything. You can download the Scribblenauts outro on iTunes and Amazon if you search Dr. Kendo or Spectacle on either of those. And okay, I'll leave now. Enough with the plugs for one day. I love all of you out there, and I will catch you on the next vid, and thanks for viewing. To bring justice to all wrongdoers, they're like a spectacle, so you can be the viewer and
down the road